Welcome to the High School Backups Podcast. My name is Nick, and welcome to the nicest episode of all time, episode 69.
Hey.
So, this episode, we are going to be trying a slightly new format, maybe more of an updated format. Really just trying to make sure that we're really getting you all the information you'd like, while also doing it in a kind of a better, more constructed version of ourselves. So, we do thank you as we go through this growing process. We've been doing this for about a year and a half, or approaching a year and a half. So, we're really trying to make better content and things that'll make you more likely to come back and watch us again. So, thank you for your time and understanding as we work through this process. First things first, we're kind of bringing back a little bit of where we started, however, in a slightly different format. Let's talk about the general news going on in the world of sports. First things first, other than Kyle and I losing a bunch of money because Royal McIlroy
You're welcome, Kyle.
suck.
Yeah,
let's
thanks a
talk
lot,
about
Austin.
the actual winner of the U.S. Open was Wyndham, right?
Wyndham Clark. If you don't know who that is, don't worry. PGA didn't know who that was because he was only ranked at the end of the last season. He was ranked 189th best player in the world. And since 2023, he has jumped to ranked 13th. So he has come out of nowhere and is taking this PGA season by storm. He has been playing well recently. This is his first major win. So a lot of people were saying this was like kind of a shitty U.S. Open because of how rough the course was. The course was pretty interesting to see. But besides that, Wyndham Clark is really taken off this year. So I think next year he can maybe compete for a couple of the other majors, like the not the U.S. Open, the Masters. So we'll see how he does the rest of his career.
I don't know, Kyle. Would you consider this
A great success.
or no?
I would definitely consider this a great success. Dude was basically an unknown, unless you watch the sport every single week. No one knows who Wyndham Clark was. So unless you really paid attention to golf in general, you had no idea who this guy is. But now people, just casual fans of the sport, now know who he is. So
Kyle, is it Wyndham with an I or Wyndham with a Y?
Wyndham with a Y.
What a dog.
Yeah, I would say against the better judgment of those in this room as well, he effectively
He's pulling his cock out.
So he put it on the table for him to win the U.S. Open. So really happy for him, although he did lose me a bunch of money. Rory McIlroy sucked cheeks. Was not very fun.
Or did you just weren't smart enough to bet on the guy who would have won you even more money?
Okay, anyways, Austin was
Did you not know enough?
Actually, Austin, when I had the odds, Rory McIlroy had second best odds behind him, so it would have been the same amount probably, but I would have won. So, anyways, here we are. Moving on to the next piece. Andrew, do you want to talk a little about USA, Team USA beating Canada over the weekend?
Actually, over this whole entire weekend, United States men's national team soccer beat Mexico and Canada. They beat Mexico 3-0. Match ended early due to some fruity words being said at the game. But nothing to take away from the United States beating the heck out of Mexico 3-0. And them just having an interim to the interim head coach. It just was complete shocking to the system. Everybody thought USA was ranked as an underdog in that match because of the fact that they had an interim head coach who had never coached as a head coach for a while, or for the first time at an international type level. And the fact that he pulled off such a stunning performance to lead these guys into these matchups against Canada and Mexico to completely shut them out 3-0, 2-0 games, and it just winning the CONCACAF Nations League trophy and lifting it. It shows that yes, this United States team has grown since the World Cup, and we're seeing a lot more yet to come. We also now have Gold Cup coming up, which is another Nations League trophy for the United States compete in. They're hoping to hopefully raise this one, but they're bringing in a lot more new players in to kind of help develop them so that we can lead into the 2026 World Cup with a strong roster.
And Andrew, would you consider the weekend for Canada and Mexico?
Embarrassing.
No, not really.
I'd say it was pretty embarrassing because Mexico fired their head coach after the 3-0 embarrassing loss.
Well, it seems
Yeah,
like
we
they
know
control
who
the
who
scene,
rules
so
this continent.
All
Don't
of
worry.
America was really
Hey.
What did he
USA
say?
all the way.
Steve,
I
how
mean-
bad does this hurt, buddy? How bad does it hurt?
I mean,
It only has
considering
half
how
of the
often I actually watch soccer, I'm not too sure, but I do know that Mexico has not recovered from pretty much being one and done. Not even being one, not even making it to the actual
Not-
playoff bracket,
yeah.
like nothing in the
Look,
World Cup.
Look,
And
they
then
thought they were the kings of CONCACAF. They're not the kings of CONCACAF anymore. The United States just showed why.
It's
no,
called
and
soccer,
I
boys.
know, and let me tell you what, at least a lot of my cousins who are Mexico soccer fans talk a lot of crap about the U.S. and are like, "Oh, the U.S. ain't gonna amount to shit." Well,
It is no
Well,
longer
almost like
called
these
football. It is
are
called
not so
soccer,
great.
and that is
Look,
established.
the amount of memes that were on my TikTok for the United States beating Mexico and it just having a bunch of Mexican players and Christian Pulisic as their father, basically saying Happy Father's Day, and it's just Mexican kids and Christian Pulisic. It was hilarious because we just owned Mexico and we own Canada now. It's just like the fact that like we've taken so many different players from international countries, and because that they had American heritage, they're coming over to play for the United States because they see what we're growing and they see what we're bringing in for them. So like this is a big opportunity for the United States
Yes.
after this big win.
And it's important to have a live look into Mexico during the next World Cup.
Oh, Nick, let me tell you this, bro. If you're in Mexico for the games, you're talking shit. Make sure it's not about the Mexico team. Here's the thing, guys. Outside of the United States, no, bro. Outside of the United States, for the most part, especially in Latin American countries, the opposing team is allowed to leave first, and home fans are not allowed to step anywhere outside of the stadium until like an hour or so has passed, so that everyone can leave.
They have to wait
So-
an hour.
Y'all will be in
safety, yeah.
danger if y'all start talking shit. Just fair warning. Have a Mexico jersey hit
No,
underneath.
so wait. Are you saying we should all go to Guadalajara for the 2026 World Cup just to talk
Zero
shit?
shot.
And if the United States is playing
And guys,
there, if
I
the
hope you
United
tune
States
in
is
for their
playing,
last episode alive.
just imagine if the United States is playing there and they smack and it's against Mexico and they just smack Mexico in their
Not
home
if,
country.
but when they do that. Now, moving on.
It's not imagined.
True,
it's
true,
right
true,
now.
true.
Well, yeah,
Forgot.
when your safety's
when,
at risk.
when.
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
our
So,
safety's at risk.
moving on. So, we talked a little
not
bit
even
about last
joking.
week about whether or not the Golden Knights could close it out. They very, very quickly closed it out the night of.
Same night, actually.
Was that the 9-2 game, Kyle? If you remind me
It
correctly.
was the 9-2 game. It was.
Yeah, it saves Kyle the embarrassment of wearing a Red Sox jersey.
It does.
Big
but it
Thank
sad.
does
God.
not
Big
save
sad.
possibly the worst embarrassment of having to wear a Packers hat, considering the Red Sox already made him shit himself over the last 2 weekends while they proceeded.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that one in a bit.
Yeah,
We
later.
certainly will. So, Kyle, anything to talk about
Yes.
with the Golden Knights beating the Panthers?
First, I'm very happy I won't have to wear a Red Sox jersey. Thank you, Florida, for choking. Much appreciated. Love it. But anyway, Golden Knights they tied the record for the fastest expansion team to win the Stanley
Rigged.
Cup. You say that, but a lot of people will believe you for actually saying that.
know.
Whether you
It's a
mean
joke.
it or not,
It's a joke.
a lot of people genuinely do think the Golden Knights were rigged to win the Stanley Cup. But anyway, they tied the record that was previously set by the Philadelphia Flyers. So now it is a two-way tie for the fastest record at 6 years to win the cup. With Vegas winning, there are now only 11 teams that don't have a Stanley Cup in the NHL.
Oh, who can name
Uh,
all 11? Little game within inside this topic here.
Oh,
That's
who
not
can name
Kyle.
all 11?
Not
That's
Kyle
not
or
me. That's not. Oh, okay.
I think the Florida Panthers are one of them, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's one.
Yeah.
One here. Who
So the Panthers.
Capitals.
Does this include? No, the Capitals have one. Does this include expansion, like old teams, or no?
Yeah. No, it's just
Like
current
the
teams.
Thrashers don't fucking count.
Oh,
The
yeah,
fl-
of course.
No, the Thrashers do not count. But that
But
is a
the
kind
Winnipeg
of-
Jets are in
There
there.
you go.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's two.
Oh, this is ridiculous because there's so
It's
many
not.
old hockey teams.
That's why I said
Yes,
I
it
couldn't
is.
do it because I would know them all pretty quickly.
Dallas.
Er,
And
Dallas
I was
has
born in,
one.
like 99
Dallas
or
has
2000.
99.
Calgary doesn't have one.
Yes, they do.
They won
Damn.
a while ago as well, but you're in the
Yeah.
right area ish.
The Kraken.
Correct.
Kraken don't have one. Yeah,
Not yet.
not yet.
Rangers? No, Rangers have one.
Whoa! I know it's been a while, Andrew. You don't have to rub it in, boy.
Sorry.
Devils.
Hey, let's start heading more south.
The Devils have one.
The Devils.
Devils have
Oh, Nashville.
4.
Carolina.
Nashville.
Nashville does not have one.
That's
Carolina
correct.
does have one.
Carolina
They
has
do.
one.
Let's
Yes.
head a little more
What was
south,
that?
west here, southwest.
Coyotes.
Arizona.
There,
Yeah.
There's 5.
Well, Arizona ain't gonna exist anymore.
Yeah, it's
True.
fine.
Okay, let's at least get 6, boys. Come on. Say more
I
than
feel like this is pretty good for the fact
The
that I don't
Kings?
watch hockey, bro.
The Kings
I mean, the
have
Kings have
2.
one.
The Kings have
Yeah.
2.
Sharks?
Yep.
There you
Correct.
go. That's a
Sharks.
6.
Sharks don't have one. That's
If
6.
anyone wants to
Sharks.
give up,
That one I'm surprised about. I thought the Sharks had one.
They came close. They had a good run in the
Philly has
2010s,
one.
but
Philly
Philly
has.
has
Philly
2.
has a
Philly,
lot.
yep.
I was gonna say Philly at least has
Philly
one.
has 2.
The Islanders have one, right?
They have 4.
They have
But yes.
four.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
think
4.
about Ohio, everyone. Ohio.
Columbus is a recent expansion. You should
Columbus.
know that, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, not really. They expanded 23 years ago. But
Yeah, but like in general, like
Yes,
that's recent.
correct. Yeah.
Let's see.
Wow,
Like generally, that is a
it'd be
recent
pretty
expansion.
wild if you guys can figure out
Minnesota?
yeah,
They don't.
Okay.
I don't want the
Minnesota.
I
hints.
just thought they
Nick.
did.
they don't
I-
have
yeah,
one. No,
But
they
had-
expanded at the same time as the Blue Jackets. So
I don't want your
Three-
hints,
Three
Nick.
more.
the last
Three
one?
more. I'm sorry, you guys were going to think about Minnesota, so you need 3 more.
Hang on.
2 of them.
Yes,
2
Minnesota
of them are up north.
Oh, they are.
The
the Canucks.
Yep, there's one. There's
I was
one.
gonna
of them.
say because Toronto's the only
Senators?
one that
That's
has
nuts,
one.
considering how good that team used to be.
Yeah,
The Canucks.
You know, they had one of the best
Yes.
goalies of all time, and then they still lost.
About the
Canucks.
Senators.
Canucks are 0-3. Senators is another one, Steve. There you go.
Look at
That's
that.
10.
Too easy.
But how long have the Senators been a team for? That's a very long time. They still can't win.
Since '91. It's a very
Real
long
long.
time.
Okay, there's one.
Guys
team
got
left.
one more.
The Maple Leafs have to have one.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I know they're a joke, but they
a meme.
they
but like,
the Maple Leafs haven't won since the league expanded. So
okay.
I don't know if their cups can really count that much.
Oh, I mean, if the Yankees billion.
We're missing one team. I don't
know,
care.
I
Who
know.
is it?
I don't know if the last
One.
one's obvious. That obvious.
What is it? Who is it?
Um,
You said you didn't want hints. So you gotta figure
I
it out.
no, I
Yeah.
said
I
I
don't
gave
know
up.
anymore.
Tell me.
No more
BC.
hints.
Give me a region. Give me a
BC.
region.
It's north,
Easter. It's north.
northeast.
Okay.
Very irrelevant city. Like this,
Buffalo?
it is Buffalo. Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna
it
say
is Buffalo.
it's like
Tell that to their
northeast.
football
The only
team.
irrelevant team up there is Buffalo in
Well,
this sense.
Tell that's their football team. Speaking of football, let's talk about the most erratic, dumb player in the whole league, who's unironically a Patriots player.
Oh.
Steve, you want to talk a little bit about Jackie Jones?
Yeah, so Jack Jones was caught with two loaded firearms, which I'm correct are what's up? Only one was loaded with a high-speed mag reloader. I mean, and if I'm correct, there's charges that it's unlawful possession of a firearm, and basically he's getting a whole bunch of charges. And these charges, because they're in an airport, there's some speculating it could be up to 30 years in prison if he's found guilty. He has pleaded not guilty. I mean, NFL players have been found with an Uzi in the side of their car, but at the same time, who really knows? But, you know, what are everybody's thoughts? So we were listening to a radio show the other day, and realistically what we're thinking is it's a young kid who just did something stupid. I mean, saying I forgot they were in there. I mean, if you forgot they're in there, that's a whole nother level of irresponsibility. But still, I mean, who really thought you're gonna bring pistols into Logan Airport and think you can get away with it? But I don't know.
He's playing the dumb card. He's playing the dumb card, which is stupid because he knows he's going to get caught in the end.
Yep.
Admit to your mistakes. Fess up. Take the
And
jail
go join
time.
Harry Ruggs in the prison league.
Shorter sentence.
Yeah, go join Henry Ruggs and all that.
Oh,
Yikes.
Henry Ruggs actually killed somebody. Let's not compare the
Oh,
two
yeah.
here.
Didn't he
Hold
go
on.
too?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
one was-
well, I'm
yeah.
just saying. I'm
Yeah.
saying because we're talking jail league. Right
I
now.
know, but
Yeah.
Henry Ruggs is
Bro.
actually a murderer, so it's not quite the same level.
Well, not a murder.
Well, we don't know what Jack Jones was up to with those
All right, guys,
guns.
we're getting off topic.
Bro,
So focus on
first and
Jack Jones.
foremost, I'm not going to speculate about
I mean,
any of
here's the
this.
thing, we
The
don't really
important
know
part,
until we know, right?
the two important things are maybe unlawful possession of a firearm in an airport, and he pled not guilty. That is all we know at this point.
Yep.
Like, that is it. That is all you know.
Exactly.
I
So
know
he's
that-
sounding more like Ja Morant right now.
So we did want to bring it up as a part of our new segment.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Um,
As our first kind of new news segment. Did anyone else have anything else to talk about, Austin?
No.
The only thing I find funny about it is the fact that he like tweeted out
At John
at
Moran.
John Morant saying like he was an idiot, and then like a few days later, I
That's
was like,
actually
dude, you were
that's actually hilarious.
In all
so dumb. Yeah,
fairness,
everybody was like,
John Morant seemingly knowingly did it, and Jack Jones seemingly knowingly did not knowingly do it. That's
well,
what
he at least pleaded
Did
that's
not.
what happened. But
Yeah. He also-
I'd like, I don't know. But it's ironic that he tweets out like, dude, you're being stupid and you're losing your bag and all that kind of stuff. And then literally goes to an airport with one, whether he intentionally did it or not, still shows up at an airport with it, which is so funny.
I will say the words of Jack Jones's attorney are supposedly Jack Jones' bag. So apparently we don't even know if it was Jack Jones' bag at this point. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
That might
like-
be incorrect. I might just be reading too much into what I saw, like his attorney say. But
It depends. Who was the first one to report this out, though? Like that's the thing. If it was
I think-
TMZ, TMZ's going to make a spectacle out of anything, and then it's going to blow up
At the end
into
of the
all
day,
this stuff.
We don't know. It's not.
Yeah, we don't
We're
know.
just not gonna know until we know. The truth of the matter is, he's gonna play this season, probably be the number one corner unless Christian Gonzalez beats him. And
Number
he's gonna
two.
Be,
Seagull.
Number two,
he's gonna
no.
be one
Big
hell
L.
of
Jack
a
Jones
number
lead.
2 corner, by the way. Let's just clarify. He was a very good number 1 last year. So, and then we still have like other people like Jonathan Jones back there. Like you got a few.
Marcus
few-
Jones.
Marcus Jones still doing his thing. He'll be a special teams demon again on defense to help out and on offense.
It's going to be our slot corner, too.
All right. And let me break down the secondary that we got. All right, not to mention our incredible safeties.
Okay, we
Well,
are-
people forget.
All right, now
Way
we
off
really
topic.
are getting off
We,
topic.
Way off
yeah.
we will have
Oh.
plenty of time to talk about this. We are going to stay on topic. We're going to stay uniform what we're talking about. I just wanted to point out he'll be an awesome number 2 when he plays this year because this won't matter.
Austin,
But-
to your
Yes,
point,
yes,
that is
yes,
somewhat
yes.
hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the first major subject today. Hope you all enjoyed the first news section for us. We'll kind of be working on revamping that and having pieces of it. But Bradley Beal unofficially being traded to
Bro,
the Phoenix
finally
Suns.
this saga fucking
It
ended.
is official that he is going. It is unofficial because nothing's been finalized yet, but we do have a pretty good idea of what's going over, at least to the Suns side. I don't think we know exactly what's coming back.
Yeah.
But
We have a decent
From what I saw, it was Ian Shumpert, Chris Paul was in the deal, and like some second round picks.
I thought it was
Amongst it.
The reported haul is second round picks Landry Shamet and CP3.
Yeah, no, that's who it was.
But aren't they-
not
isn't-
I've got the
finalized
name.
yet, though. It's not like
It's not
100%
finalized.
yet, so that could
Yeah, it's not
definitely change.
finalized.
I don't think that's that good of a haul for a dude who's like pretty damn good. And then they also got a couple young guys with him.
Well, I think they're blowing it up.
I think you're
Yeah.
right, but I think that they could have gotten a couple first for Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
Considering Rudy Gobert got like 6 of those bitches. So
You don't
Okay.
think? Wait, so
Rudy
I feel like
Gobert
they've
at
got to
this
have
point is
one
the
pick in
outlier.
that. That's first.
yeah.
No, they didn't get a first round pick in it.
Wait, but
They got
also,
they got
Jam
pick
City-
swaps.
They got
They got
some
pick
picks, but
swaps.
that's
We don't
not-
know.
you're
We
not
don't know
gaining
what
anything,
picks
though. You
are.
might gain
We
a few
no.
positions,
Yeah.
but you're not gaining that much. Especially because you're getting the Phoenix Suns, who you now have a big 4. You know the big 3. You got a big 4. And it's
3.5.
Fine, 3.5.
I mean, I want to focus more on the Wizards, so anybody who has a lot to say about the Sun side of it, please go ahead. I know that Nick and Kyle have a lot to say.
Talk
but...
about the Suns a little bit. So now the Suns
Mhm.
starting lineup is DeAndre Ayton at center. You'll probably have
For now.
probably Kevin Durant at power forward. Whoever they want at small
Michael
forward.
Bridges.
Oh yeah, Mikal Bridges.
It'll be
Wait, I thought
Mikal
it was-
Bridges.
He's not there. He's in
No,
Brooklyn.
he's in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
saying,
that's right. You got traded there.
Brooklyn Bridges, baby.
Whoever they want over there, it doesn't even matter. They have Devin Booker at shooting guard, or maybe point. Ooh, actually, is it?
Book's played the one more recently than Bradley
so
Beal
Book
has.
will play the one, and then you'll have Beal play the two, and you can put whoever the hell you want with that team. You could even throw Book and Beal switching on the second squad as well, playing with some of the younger guys, some of the backer guys. That team is absolutely disgusting. We already kind of thought they were going to be really good last year, and in the playoffs, I kind of disappointed. In all fairness, they only had about 35 games with KD on the team, minus his injuries. So we'll see what happens next season. And now they're just even better, and they didn't give up, in my opinion, that much with an aging Chris Paul. Landry Shamet is not is a younger guy, but like
he's one of the worst players in the league at this point.
Yeah, like
Now-
you didn't give up that much. You gave up a bunch of seconds, which are essentially throwaways for 95% of their picks. So
Unless you get Nick.
that's why I said 95%.
Yeah.
And personally, I think the Suns got a lot better, and I'm a little PO'd that the Celtics didn't do this exact thing, but that's fine.
You want to go, Kyle?
You can go. I'll go after you.
Okay.
You're good.
I disagree with you. I mean, did they get better on its face on paper? Yes. Did they really get that much better? I'm gonna say no because they kind of said it on First Things First this morning, and I agree with them. They're so redundant when it comes to play styles. Booker, KD, and especially God, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name?
Ayton or Beal?
Beal. Thank you. They're all very similar play styles. They have the ball in their hands for the most part to do what they do. KD can pass, yeah, so can the other two, but and we did see when they put Booker at the one in the playoffs, he was averaging like 8 assists, so he can do it, but they're all more score first type guys. So I think that's gonna be a problem for them. Also, Beal's not a good defender. Neither is Booker really. And KD is going to be 35 and doesn't really defend that much anymore. So that's a problem. Ayton sucks as a defender. He can rebound, but he's not a good defensive center, so that doesn't help them. And now you're looking at it, they already couldn't stop people. So maybe they can score enough. We'll see. But a lot of the teams that we see that are great at scoring flame out really hard in the playoffs. I don't think they take first next year in the conference in the regular season. I think they're like third, maybe even fourth if they can't gel together and they can't stop people. But I think they probably go second or third and then go out second round, to be honest. Unless they're able to do something like get rid of I think they need to trade Ayton for some rotational pieces because they're so thin. They have a great 4 to start out, and then as soon as any of those guys go to the bench, they're going to be super thin.
They have a whole free agency.
So
that's my thing.
Well, they don't have any. They don't have any fucking money.
Dude,
that was
I
actually
was
just what I was gonna say, Jake. I'm
just gonna parrot Austin for a second and say that I think they have to move Ayton for some pieces. I'm not gonna lie to you, like they have to. I think the CP3 trade is a predecessor to doing something with Ayton that gets them more rotational pieces. And they'll probably get a defensive center back. I'm going to let Kyle go now. I'm good. I'm going to talk more about what it means for the Wizards at the back end.
With this move to the Suns, they now have a combined salary hit for just 4 players of $723 million. So
what is it this year?
This
I thought it was like 163 this year or something.
Yeah, and then you go into the next through 2028 right now. It's over $723 million.
And Kyle, next year and the years after that, all 3 of those of the big 3 are going to be making over $50 million each.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
absolutely insane. But also on your point, Jake, of trading Ayton Colin Cowherd released a mock trade today with actually Ayton going to the Knicks. And in return, the Suns get Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, and like a first round pick or something like that. So the Suns
I don't
get
think
their
Ayton's worth
defensive.
that.
No, I don't think the Knicks do
I
that
think
at all,
Ayton's
to be
worth
honest.
more.
But
I saw one
I agree.
I saw
but
one for the Celtics.
there's that
on this
defensive
subject.
center.
I did see one that was
I
pitched to
want
the
Ayton.
Celtics. I wouldn't mind. Actually, I saw one for Kristaps Porzingis. We'll talk about that one in a second.
Kyle, yeah, keep
Yes.
that out. I think Ayton's worth more than that, but
I agree.
I get what Coward was trying to do there. I do.
I agree. I don't think that's quite enough, but that is what that was just what Cowherd said. But like,
I guess I'm just not as
even
high as.
even if you take out the cap issue, let's pretend in a perfect world they are making normal salaries. How many games are the Suns really going to get with a healthy Durant and Bradley Beal? Like, I don't know.
I doubt it.
They both have been very injury prone the last 5 years.
Well,
I don't
all
know.
three of
man.
them.
Come back this
All
year
three.
after his injuries as soon as he got traded. So
All right,
He still missed a lot of time with the Suns.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know. It just could have been stuff with Brooklyn or, with the 76ers with the team they put together. I mean, as much as I think, all these star players of one team is going to be completely unstoppable. I mean, there's very, very likely this team could be very underwhelming, which can happen to super teams when they put all those pieces together. Now, is Chris Paul I'm hearing stuff that I saw an article that talked about his contract being bought out and him becoming a free agent.
I'll talk about that when I get to the Wizards portion of it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
okay,
Well,
let's
Jake,
get
I
into
think the
that.
floor
Yeah,
is yours.
let's move on.
Okay, I mean, yeah, if we're going to get to the Wizards portion of it, I'm going to first say that I think the Suns are going to be interesting and fun to watch. I don't know how successful it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, honestly, at this point, I think the Wizards are going to... Let's talk about what the Washington Wizards have on their roster right now with CP3. If they even keep CP3, because I think their intention is to move him or buy him out, I think they're going to embrace the fact that they suck for the first time in a decade since they brought John Wall in. I think it was, 10, 12 years ago? Something like that.
Yeah, it was like 09 or something.
Oh, wow, it's almost 14 now. But
Like 10. I think it was 10, 11.
long time ago. They have Kristaps Porzingis on the roster. If they keep CP3, they have CP3 on the roster. I really don't think that's the way they're going to go.
No.
I think they're probably going to move him to a third team for draft assets or something else like that.
Yep.
And Kuzma just opted out of his $13 million player option. I don't think they go and re-sign Kyle Kuzma. I don't think it's worth it for them. I don't think it's worth it for them to go after him at this point, because if they still had Bradley Beal, like maybe if he's healthy, you have a shot at the 8 seed. With Kuzma, without him, I mean, you're probably a 10th seed, whatever. Daniel Gafford's on the roster at 12 to 14 million per year over the next 3 years. Landry Shamet is just taking up $10.5 million of cap space. They have a team option, I think, in 2025. So Landry Shamet will be riding their bench for 2 years, whatever, rotational piece for them. Monte Morris is still here for another year. DeLon Wright is there for another year. Denny Avila, who's actually been pretty good for them on the rookie deal, is going to be there for another year. Johnny Davis, Corey Kidd, this team is awful.
It's not good. And most of those names I've not heard of before, so I do think you're right. I think they're going to end up doing a sell-off.
I mean, honestly, I think they probably trade Porzingis, let Kuzma walk for nothing, move CP3 for assets. If I'm moving Porzingis, the first team I'm probably calling is the Celtics because they need length more than any team.
So I was about to say I have a proposed trade here. I don't like this trade, but I would give my difference. So the trade is it's Kristaps Porzingis for Robert Williams, which makes sense. Malcolm Brogdon, Peyton Pritchard, and a future first-round pick and a pick swap. So essentially just for future first-round pick.
I would prefer if we threw Horford in there and maybe a future first. But
I think that is a lot for Porzingis.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do think it's a lot.
I want
would
his
not
length.
do Brogdon, and I would do something
I wouldn't do
else.
Brogdon.
But if I did Robert Williams, Peyton Pritchard, and pick and a pick swap, which pick swap?
Give up Grant Williams for him.
Grant's going to be gone, I think, honestly. But no, if I'm trading for Porzingis right now, I think he'd be worth Horford, Pritchard, and maybe a future first.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, there are some people who really think Kristaps Porzingis is an all-star level player. I mean, if you look at Porzingis' stats last year,
It was good.
like
He's
he was
good, but
not bad.
he's somewhat injury prone sometimes. You either have him for a good season, or sometimes he ends up injured, and then you lose him for such a long period of time, where like you have nobody to fill his role.
He played 65 games last year, which is the most since.
But that's what I'm saying. But his time in
Yeah.
Dallas, he was so injured. It was like an on-off like season with him. So it's like you either get a good run with him or you don't get a good run with him. So it's like, what are we gonna get out of him?
We had a situation when we brought in Malcolm Brogdon, and he didn't get hurt until the playoffs. He only missed one game. So let's just.
At the same time,
let me put it this way: with Kristaps, you're getting a guy who can put in 23 a night. He shot 50% last year and 38.5 from three. Brought in 8 boards, block and a half a game. If there are a lot of teams in the NBA who can use that type of player, if the Wizards are truly going to sell, and I think that's what getting rid of Bradley Beal means for them. I think they're selling, regardless of whether they give him to the Celtics or wherever he goes.
Dude,
I could see them moving him to Detroit for James Wiseman or something like that, an extra.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if he goes to Detroit, they could rebuild with someone young coming out of Detroit.
We're going to get to this later, but Detroit could be moving the 5th overall pick. There's not a lot there for them that would help them immediately. He could go to Portland. That's something for him right now for the number 3 pick. I think they'd need a lot more than just Kristaps Porzingis to give up the number 3 pick, but that's an option. Honestly, again, I just think this Bradley Beal move means that the Wizards are going to embrace the fact that they suck and they'll be in the lottery for the next 3 years.
Dude,
and
that's
Celtics
fine. If I'm the Celtics, I would give. I know it sounds dumb. I would give like 2 first-rounders and like Peyton Pritchard, and like I would be fine with that exact trade. And if you get rid of Robert Williams, then. Or sorry, if you get rid of 1 first-round pick, you give Robert Williams, and I'd be perfectly fine with that. Like Kristaps, he doesn't need to be as productive as he had been previously, and that opens up so much for players, like not needing.
I mean,
to be productive.
Also the players that were. No, you go, Austin.
Okay. So 2 things. One, I think if you're gonna get rid of somebody, I'd say get rid of Horford, because Porzingis and Horford on the same team don't work as well, in my opinion, as having Robert Williams to be a lob threat and like that true defender at the rim that Horford can't be anymore as he's getting older. And I think it's just, if we're gonna get rid of somebody, I'd rather get rid of him than the young guy, because we're not gonna be able to have Horford for that much longer. So I'd rather do that.
Like we're trading. Like Robert Williams has way more value than that Horford does. That's what we're doing here.
No, I understand what you're saying, but instead of that, you send Horford, which to a Wizards team that wants to get rid of contract anyway sooner than later.
Yeah,
and then you give them a young.
Like you got to.
Yeah,
you have to give him Peyton. And I think of first. Yeah.
Well, Pritchard doesn't play anyway. Like he doesn't play for the Celtics. He's adding.
But when he has, he's played well.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't play for the Celtics. You're not giving up.
Yeah. You have to use him. You have to trade him. You have to.
People think like
for him.
He's an asset, and I think he really could be someone a team could build around or build off of.
But at the same time, too, talking about moving, I mean, Horford's an aging player, first off, and also not having to deal with this contract is great. But also, I mean, Robert Williams, you have to remember, too, he spent a lot of last year's playoffs injured. That like he definitely can go through stretches where you're not going to see him for a while because of his injury history. And if who we're trading for is the same thing but has a higher upside, then I mean, and then we're getting rid of a player that we don't really utilize. Yeah, I think.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think Robert Williams is absolutely key to the Celtics core, and I would.
I think so.
Like there would not be a lot that I would trade Robert Williams for, and I know that sounds absolutely asinine, but his defense is absolutely crucial to what the Celtics do.
Well, him being on the court is why we can dominate the Bucks.
Yeah,
if the time comes.
I don't care what you say. The reason was you can blame it on coach, you can blame it on anything. There's a reason why the Celtics didn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost to a Heat team that got absolutely exposed by a really good center that we didn't have. Whether or not he was hurt, whatever, like it wasn't there for us. And so the big move is a good center, and Kristaps would be the best center we've had.
Okay, I think
my thing is
to Jokic is different. That's just a different conversation.
But my thing is like. you bring in Kristaps, you keep Robert Williams. Robert Williams gets moved to the power forward position. Then you're all set. We don't lose Robert Williams. Robert Williams is a key asset.
You put Kristaps on power forward because he actually scores.
Either or.
Yeah, you
but
put
either or.
Kristaps at the 4 to spread it out.
But either or. Like, I don't really care as long as we keep Robert Williams amongst this team because he's part of the core 3 that we want to build around. Yeah. I think if we lose him, we'd have to. You're losing someone very valuable and a future All-Star and a future key components to this whole entire Celtics team that they built to have him going forward.
All right. So, like, my second point was that Kristaps would be good. We didn't lose to the Heat because of Bam. He played well, and he always hurts us, but that is not the reason we lost them. It's because of, again, our turnovers and terrible play down the stretch.
Or that we have hurt and nobody showed up to help him, and that might be the biggest issue. And that's something that we have seen Kristaps do when, like, Luka was hurt, for instance. So
I also think we moved off topic just a little bit because we are talking about what the Wizards are probably going to do and what the
that's true.
are here.
Well, the reason I was trying to bring it back to the fact that if they cut it, and this is the last thing I'll say, CP3 to me makes a bigger difference than Kristaps would potentially. Only for the fact that CP3 unlocks the offense better, in my opinion, than Kristaps does. He is the true point guard that even Brogdon couldn't be. And we saw him turn the ball over and have problems himself. CP won't do that. And he doesn't have to carry an offensive load like he did on teams in the past where he had to lead them in that regard, where he tends to come up short on his offensive output instead of the assist. So with that, it allows Jalen and Jason to cut more, to be free-flowing, and I think that makes a bigger difference. But anyways, we should probably move on from that.
Yeah,
no, I think that's fair.
Yeah, beyond all of this, what it really does is it shows the intent of the Wizards, like Jake said, and it shows the intent of the Suns. The Suns are in win now mode, so we'll see kind of what that pans out to be. But Suns are in win now mode. The Wizards are in sell everything mode. So
I'm very interested to see if the Wizards try to move up in this year's draft. To be quite honest with you,
I think they will. I think they want to.
I would not be surprised to see them end up at number 3 with the Trailblazers and/or number 2 with the Hornets. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But speaking of such, are we actually getting to that now?
We are. So staying on the topic of the NBA. One of the biggest things that'll be coming up in the next month? I don't know the exact date.
It's Thursday. It's 2 days from now.
Well, I am right. It is in the next month. The NBA draft, I knew would be coming up soon, is in 2 days on Thursday. We'll not be doing any sort of special live stream or anything like that for it. However, we'll be covering what is happening after on Tuesday. That'll be one of our main subjects. It is pretty much a given what will be happening at number 1 overall. We do know that Victor Wembanyama will be going to the Spurs. However, after that point, it does get pretty spicy, just like it did, 2 years ago? We kind of knew Zion was going number 1 overall. We had no idea what was going to happen afterwards.
That was 4 years ago.
That was 4 years ago.
That was forever, yeah.
It was 2019.
Yeah. 2019.
That's what it feels very similar to me with John Morant and all these other players that were like good, and there was a few great players, but we knew Zion was first. We didn't know anything after that. I feel like we have a very similar situation here. Victor Wembanyama is going to go first, and we have really no idea of exactly what's going to happen. We know 2 and 3. We don't know where 2 and 3, and after that, it's we don't know. So, I mean,
it's. Go ahead.
Right.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say. Besides Victor Wembanyama supposedly being the best prospect since LeBron James, supposedly, I'm not doubtful. I just am.
I'm always skeptical when people start talking like that. I'm always skeptical
because that's 2 players ever have been to that level of play, and one of which was scouted as such, and one of which was not even remotely scouted as such, and they both became in different facets the 2 best NBA players of all time. We know who they are. So
here's the thing. I don't know. I hate overall rookie comparisons because no matter what, it's never going to add up, like realistically. And as much as you want to put in, however, prospecting is great, can definitely get you in the right direction, but it's also very likely, you look at a lot of first round draft picks, I wouldn't be surprised if statistically half or more than half of the first round are busts or don't or barely start in the future. So, but
no,
I don't know.
mean, I've put together a list of the top 5 picks, at least what I think is going to happen in the top 5.
Go ahead.
I don't think I have to justify Victor Wembanyama going number 1. We all know that.
Yeah.
To your point, Nick, I mean, the problem with Victor's hype is that if he averages 18, 12, 5, a steal and 2 blocks a game, people will think he's a bust. And that is what makes me skeptical, because if I get 18, 12, and 5 out of a center on the offensive end and or defensive boards, and then also get a steal and 2 blocks a game, I'm a happy human being.
Yeah.
If Victor Wembanyama does that, it's considered a bust, which I think is absolutely ludicrous. Like, this dude right now, with the way that people are talking about him, is going to score, like, people think he's going to score 30 and 50 in his rookie year, and that's not going to happen.
No.
Like, if in his rookie year he does 15, 10, and, like, 5 and averages 2 blocks a game, the Spurs should be happy and probably will be happy. But again, I don't have to justify this. Victor Wembanyama is going number 1 overall. If you have a supposed demigod there, you take a supposed demigod. I really like Victor Wembanyama. I think he's going to be great in the league. I just don't think he's going to be this otherworldly LeBron James type talent.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
My number
I don't
2.
know.
Go ahead.
I'm staying skeptical. Which
skeptical. It's not like
optimism, which is like,
I'm optimistic. I hope he reaches that level because it'd be insane. It'd be fun to watch. But like predicting the dude is going to win 7 titles in 10 years is just absolutely asinine to my brain. I just couldn't.
Well, with also rebuilding Spurs team as well.
Yeah,
like, he's not gonna really do much.
So, Jake, obviously number 2 overall, you're going Scoot Henderson, of course, right?
Oh, I fucking love Scoot, yes. When it comes to who is actually making the pick, I have some differences, though. The Hornets could stay here and pick Scoot Henderson, which doesn't really make a lot of sense for their team. Or I think Danny Ainge could be very, very aggressive here. The Jazz have the 9 and 16 picks. I think he could dangle those to the Hornets, and whatever else would be in addition, he could move up to number 2 with those 2. Wouldn't be out of the ordinary for Danny Ainge to do. Danny Ainge is incredibly aggressive. Something that Danny Ainge has been known to do. He moves up and down the draft board like a maniac every year. We all know this. He likes to acquire draft picks and then use them to acquire more draft picks. Like, Danny Ainge just works the board as much as humanly possible. I love it. It makes it interesting. Danny Ainge never stopped being aggressive. I also think that, like we were talking about, the Wizards might try to move and package Porzingis. The Hornets have been missing a big man for a long time alongside LaMelo Ball. I think that would be a really interesting combo. But either way, no matter who's making the pick, I think it's Scoot Henderson. Brandon Miller is a good prospect. I am somewhat concerned. There have been reports that he was out of shape during workouts, which other reports say it was because he had mono. I don't know. I saw that in a Sports Illustrated article, but whatever the case is, Brandon Miller is falling on boards while Scoot Henderson, being athletic, having a jump shot, figuring it all out this last year with the Overtime Elite. Scoot's my number 2 guy.
Jake, do you think there's zero shot that it's Brandon Miller at 2 instead?
Oh, no, it's not zero shot. It's like 55-45. I think Brandon Miller still has a very good shot of going number 2. I just prefer Scoot.
Okay.
Jake, I have a good question for you as well. Are
Yeah.
Eamon and Asar, I'm assuming is how you say his name, are they brothers or cousins or something?
They're twins. They're twins.
Oh.
And they both could go top 5. I'm not necessarily saying you're doing that, but
They absolutely both could go top 5. I'll
Yes.
tell you why I'm a little bit concerned in a minute.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I also think the number 3 pick is traded. I have it going to the Pelicans for Brandon Ingram. I think the first and foremost, the Blazers need wing play. I think the Pelicans might be trying to blow it up. Zion's going through whatever Zion's going through, to which I respond, why would I, if I'm the Pelicans, why would I care to that news, to be quite honest with you, but that's a different story. The Blazers are looking for elite wing play. They have Nurkic isn't great, but you don't blow up the team just to go get rid of Nurkic. And if you dangle, the number 3 pick in Anthony Simons to the Pelicans, I think that could get you BI, Brandon Ingram. And I think that would be great for both sides, to be honest with you. I think the Pelicans are headed towards another rebuild, which isn't something they want to do, but they're not as effective without Lonzo on the floor. Lonzo's in Chicago now. Zion can't stay healthy. CJ McCollum is getting older. Brandon Ingram is really the only player there that you have that you can trade and probably get a ton of assets for. So I think the Blazers might be looking to move, and honestly, the second and third pick could honestly both be moved on draft night. It is almost 100% positive the Blazers aren't making the number 3 pick. So
Okay.
I do have Brandon Miller going there.
I have a pitch real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
What are the odds that the point guard needy Celtics make a move to get into the top 4 to get one of these 2 or maybe even 3 guys at the top?
0 fucking shot, dude.
I don't.
They don't have the
so.
assets. They don't have
They
the assets.
definitely have the assets. If you're
Like,
looking
unless you're giving up the entire, like, you have to give up, at the very least, probably Marcus, Malcolm, a first-round pick.
Do that for one of these guys. Marcus, Malcolm, and a few first-round picks. I would definitely give that up for that.
I'd give it up for Scoot. I don't know about anybody behind him.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. One of the point guards. And if these teams are willing to make a trade, then might be worth.
I mean, I doubt that happens. I would give that like maybe a 2% chance. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not very likely at all. Again, I think the most realistic scenario is probably the Wizards, the Pelicans, or the Jazz trying to be aggressive and moving up.
Gotcha. Well, who do you have
Or-
at 4 and 5?
I have Houston sticking and picking. Again, this is a trade down spot depending on what happens ahead of them. This is where I have either Cam Whitmore or Amen Thompson going. I think it really depends because some people have Amen Thompson listed as a wing because he's 6'7". Other people have him listed as a point guard. Cam Whitmore, on the other hand, is a true 3. He plays a little bit a shooting guard. He's a true wing, which I think the Houston Rockets need badly. They have a lot of guard play. They have Alperen Sengun. They have a ton of length, so they don't really need big guys. And so that would leave them with a guy like Cam Whitmore, who shot 34.3% from 3 last year. He's progressively gotten better at shooting the 3, whereas Amen Thompson is an explosive athlete, but he shoots 25% from 3. And the Rockets don't need another guy who is a slasher and can't really shoot. I really like Amen Thompson as a prospect, but I don't love the fact that his 3 ball is where it's at right now. I would say Amen's probably the more likely pick, but I would prefer to see them take Cam Whitmore. If I'm the Rockets.
And last but not least, 5th pick.
You got Detroit, again, could be a trade down spot. I just don't think there's, for some reason, a lot of these teams that are picking at the top are younger in nature and are probably trying to see what they have more than trying to add to what they have. In Detroit, I mean, you traded for James Wiseman, who showed some potential and could be your possible starting power forward or center moving into the future. You also have Jalen Duren, who can also fit that role, or one of the two.
Mhm.
You have Cade and Jaden Ivey, who both have shown that they are very good basketball players and can play professional
So
basketball.
you're looking for a 3 or 4 here, is what you're saying?
You're looking for a 3, yeah. You're essentially looking for a 3, which means you're looking for Jarris Walker or Amen Thompson.
Or Cam
Unless
Whitmore,
Cam Whitmore is on the board. In my scenario, he's probably already gone, so I'm going to say Jarris Walker. I could see both the Thompson twins slipping a little bit, solely because neither of them shoots a 3 ball well. Amen being a better NBA prospect, solely because I think he's more polished and I think he's more explosive, probably a little bit better than his twin brother. Asar is also very good, and if he could ever develop a 3-point shot, I mean, if he doesn't, he risks the Ben Simmons effect, where he just doesn't fit correctly anywhere, which is something that I think teams will shy away from taking in at least the top 5 or 7.
Gotcha. Well, I think that is all very valid. I guess we're going to kind of see what's going to happen on Thursday, as soon as Thursday. It's very interesting outside of the number 1 overall pick. I mean, there could definitely be a trade or 2. Most trades don't usually happen in the NBA night of, right? Like in the NFL, you see it all the time.
They do a lot of night of.
Well, I guess we're going to find out Thursday will be interesting. Maybe I'll keep an eye on what's going on because it could get very, very interesting with a lot of teams making their way to the top. But, let's talk about our last scheduled topic for tonight. I do want to we can talk about it a little broadly as we get towards the towards the middle point of the season in the MLB. Most specifically, I know I was giving crap to this earlier. The Red Sox beat the Yankees in the second consecutive series in 9 days, winning the total of the two series 5-1, including a sweep this most recent weekend, including a doubleheader. The subject, however, that we wanted to talk about really isn't the Red Sox and how they are doing well in this current moment. However, we wanted to talk more about how the Yankees are faltering, mostly due to injuries, but also due to, I don't know, some sloppy play, especially when we got to those middle innings, where the Red Sox just continued to come back over and over again. So, Kyle, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Let Kyle go first.
You let me take it over first.
What about your terrible soccer team? I mean, baseball team.
Whoa!
Oh, no.
Yourself
They
there,
should-
Steve, with your Mexico team.
Oof, no.
El Trio.
The Yankees are in a world of trouble, and that breaks my heart to say it. Austin, you can shake your head, but I don't know if that's shaking your head in agreement or disapproval here, but
We'll find out.
He rolled his eyes, dude. He said that's idiotic.
Okay. But let me just explain why I think the Yankees are in trouble. If they can't play without Judge on this roster, I don't know what this team can do moving forward. Like, if they can't win without him, they can't really win the whole thing with him. And since June 4th, when Aaron Judge got injured, the Yankees organization is batting 195, which is worse than baseball. They have an on-base percentage of 599, which is worst in baseball. The combined doubleheaders on Sunday night, the Yankees had 9 hits. 6 of them were from 2 players. The team is just not hitting. They are not defending well. There were multiple errors on both days on Sunday. And this team that is built to win has one of the highest salaries in baseball right now. I think they're third base salary. You put all of these teams together, and they're not winning. Yes, that's trouble. But even so,
So what you're telling me is the Yankees are the new Angels.
No. We're not quite the new Angels. We're not quite that bad. But
Also, Kyle, I'm gonna need you to channel the anger of that tipsy guy that was right in front of us at DraftKings.
every pitch.
Also,
right.
chat, I just want you to know this guy just sat down there. I can hear him cussing out the TV, and he's slamming his fist against the couch that he was on. And there's people sitting right next to him, and they looked very uncomfortable. But it made things very entertaining.
That's fun.
The Yankees have now lost 8 out of their last 11 games. I want to read this quote that came from Anthony Rizzo, and it really made me kind of pain. It made me just feel endless pain when I saw this quote. There's 30 teams in baseball right now that don't have Aaron Judge on it. He's our captain. He's our leader. It sucks, but one guy doesn't make the difference. As a unit, we got to come together and rally. If you got to come together and rally, why the fuck is it taking you 12 games? Where the hell have you been for the last half month?
Listen,
all I'm telling you. I know they're injured. I get it. But the entire offense can't come from Aaron Judge when he's here. And when he's not here, you can't not do anything. There's just no... as Rizzo said, as a unit, there is no unit right now. It seems like it just seems like it's shattered. Austin, I have a feeling you're going to disagree with me. That's fine. Go for it.
I don't disagree with everything you've said. The thing I definitely agree with you on the fact that they can't just rely on Aaron Judge alone. And that definitely over the last, like you said, basically a half month has been that where they are like, oh, our captain isn't in the lineup, and now for some reason we all can't hit. Like Rizzo just all of a sudden, who was raking, And actually, at times when Judge was struggling earlier in the year, and obviously he was hurt earlier in the year as well, I was keeping them afloat with the way he was hitting. But so obviously that's a problem. And right now he coming into that Red Sox doubleheader at the end of it, I think he was like 1 for 50 almost. He did have a home run that was it wasn't gonna be a home run, but it was close to being a home run. That was a great catch by
It would have been a home run in 29 other ballparks. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I know
So
Red Sox fans like to say that in the other direction about the short porch of Yankee Stadium, so I'll say it right now in the other way. But anyway, go ahead.
But no, the biggest thing is that no, they're not in trouble. And the only reason they're not in trouble is because they are getting or they just got reinforcement today a little bit. Harrison Bader, if he can please stay healthy for a lot longer. If he can stay healthy for like a lot longer than he has been able to the last last half of season with the Yankees, and then has been in and out this year already. If he can stay healthy, because when he's healthy, he's raked for the Yankees and played really well. And if nothing else, he is a solid defender in the outfield, which is big for them. And he just brings a passion and a fire that lights the Yankees in a different way. When he's in the lineup, they just play that much better. Same thing as they do with Judge. And I think that's something that can't be understated, is like certain guys just bring something to the locker room, and especially not just to the locker room, but to the actual lineup. Not necessarily with the way they are able to hit, but just in the way that they're being actually out there on the field just makes people feel and play different. The other reason that they're not playing well right now is they're young. In certain areas, they're young. I mean, you've got a rookie shortstop who just cannot seem to get, I don't know if it's out of his head. I mean, he's had some bad luck with batted balls in play where he's just, a lot of them are going as outs.
He seems to be struggling on all aspects of the game right now.
Yeah, that's what's starting to make me a little concerned about him, with just where he is now mentally, maybe, because all of a sudden his defense has looked shaky at certain times, as it showed up against the Red Sox and caused them. I don't know that we're going to win the game if he doesn't make that error, but
we weren't winning the game regardless. It's fine.
No, probably not, but it makes a big difference, right? Because it's 1 run versus, I think it was 3 runs after that or something like that. So point being, he made a mistake. So we're also going to be getting back Carlos Rodon not getting him back, getting him for the first time because he hasn't pitched yet. Despite losing the Red Sox in that second game, I did like what I saw from Severino. He was not the reason that they scored 4 runs. That was a lot to do with his defense around him. So if he had pitched a full, 6 innings of 2 earned runs, I'm okay with that. Like, I'll take that every day. That's when the offense has to step up, and that's been the problem here. Awesome. And the other thing is, to kind of wrap up, I'm not worried, one, because like I said, we're getting reinforcements back. Giancarlo, I don't think is going to keep being this bad for the rest of the season. We'll see. I could be wrong, but it's not historically how he is. So he will play well for them at some point. Number 2, Judge will be back, and when he is back, they're going to play like they did for the month before, when they went like 19 and like 7, or a little better than that, and put them right back up into a spot of challenging the Rays potentially if they could have kept that going. He hadn't gotten hurt. So with the pitching getting healthy, other guys coming back, and of course eventually Judge coming back, when we're fully healthy, I'm not too worried. I would like to see our guys step up and show that, hey, we can do it, as Rizzo said, without needing our superstar to carry everything on us and make us feel safe or something like that, whatever's going on there. Hopefully we fire Jordan after this year, because he is still a problem and he can't coach guys to be better than they are. And that's the problem. You need a good manager and a good coach that can make guys better. And he does not do that. As we've
I don't know
seen,
if he's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's the problem right now.
I'm not saying he's the only problem. What I'm saying is, somebody like Torrey, even Girardi, we saw when Girardi had teams that were not the best, what did he do? He got the best out of those teams. Like, look at what Girardi did when we had Judge as a rookie, right? Judge still wasn't a superstar. He wasn't able to carry fully, right? He had his moments. But he made that group of ragtag guys go all the way and beat one of the best teams we had seen in a regular season in that Cleveland team. and almost get us to the World Series over the
If
Astros.
Houston wasn't in love with trash cans, we would have made
we actually
would have made a trip.
I don't want to hear about whether a team did something or
anyway.
did something. You want to be about it.
They did. They were proven guilty.
Stop acting like the Red Sox don't say that too. So
Just because you're a bad team that lost to cheaters
because
doesn't
we
change you're a
got-
bad team.
But anyways, that's what I'm saying is I don't think that we are as hopeless as Kyle is making it out to be. He's just salty because his Yankees. Yeah,
Anyway, so moving on,
his bad
because
start
we've been
weekend.
talking about the Yankees for way too long. It's been like a million.
Celtics for way longer.
Yeah, so
I will just say-
furthermore, Brian Bayo, the 24-year-old mastermind, absolutely outplayed Severino, and that's all that really matters.
No, okay, Severino didn't play that bad. He didn't play that bad.
Bayo was screaming at the top of his lungs because he was playing.
Yeah, he was playing well, but
And
I
he's a
thought it was
young
pretty well.
buck. So, just unlike the Red Sox, of course,
We do not care.
about how the Yankees are slowly falling into 5th place after I heard a lot of yapping about how the Red Sox were in 5th place. Even though
Slowly falling into
they're
5th
now
place. Your
three-
Red Sox will be
they're
there the
now-
rest of this
They're now
season.
4 games above 500. I'm hearing a lot of yapping that's gone real quiet recently. So,
Real
anyways,
quiet. I will tell you, they will
anyways,
stay there the rest of the
Did
season.
anyone have any other topics for the nicest episode of the year?
I did just get this breaking update from Fantasy. So
Sleeper, is that
from Sleeper, yeah. Apparently,
Keishan Butte and
no, I at least just want to say it. We don't have to talk about
What
it. but
happened?
doesn't matter.
Apparently, Keishan Butte is being outplayed by their 6th round wide receiver pick. Whatever
Mario
that means
Davis?
in camp.
I mean, they're both 6th-round
Whatever.
picks. Who fucking cares?
Whatever that
Yes,
means.
it
But
doesn't mean
yeah.
anything because Keishan Butte was a reach anyways, and he has a chance, and he has the skills to be really good, but he was a 6th-round pick, and the Patriots had literally 14 picks in this draft, and most of them were between the 4th and 6th round, or 7th.
I mean,
I don't
what
know.
else? What else would be more Bill Belichick than making a 5'8" speed receiver from Liberty a decent receiver into Mario Davis? I don't care.
So, anyways, thank you all for
yeah.
watching the nicest episode of the year. We hope you all enjoyed the slightly more formatted format, keeping it a little bit more in line. Of course, just like everyone else, we always go a little bit off topic, but we are going to try and kind of keep a more in-line format going forward. Focus on a few topics like we did today. Please, we do love your feedback and appreciate it. So please make sure to leave a comment. Definitely make sure to like and subscribe to the videos today. We will be pushing out some more content in the near future, and we're going to kind of see what that looks like. We're going to keep that a little bit of a surprise as we figure it all out. But we do hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. And thank you.